What's going on, y'all? It's J.D. Piquel. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to take a pulse of the Michigan quarterback battle headed into the Hawaii game. Welcome into the Hard Count, the people's show for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a daily basis. Nick Brake does the heavy lifting. You can help drive the show by subscribing to the channel. We have surged past 15,000 subscribers. That is in all part thanks to you. So we thank you for that, and we are excited to keep this thing growing and excited to build this community that y'all have allowed us to cultivate here. So thank you for that. Michigan has one of the most fascinating quarterback situations on their hands. Jim Harbaugh came out before the season started and said, all right, here's the deal. Cade McNamara, you're starting game one. McCarthy, you're starting game two. So we saw Cade McNamara against Colorado State. Looked pedestrian. That's not to knock him too much. Went 8 for 16, had a touchdown, 9 for 18, had a touchdown, 136 yards, had an interception that was eventually called back because it ended up being incomplete upon further review, but one poor decision that ultimately could have been an interception. And then McCarthy looked really solid against Colorado State. Was 4 for 4, had a few carries, had 50 yards rushing, had a touchdown. So he did some good things. But the fascinating part about this race is that Jim Harbaugh said, okay, we're going to have a quarterback duel for these first two games. They each get a start. By game 3, we're going to decide who our guy is going forward. And even Cade McNamara said after the game against Colorado State, he seemed a little bit disappointed in his performance, but he came out and said, yeah, I thought it was unusual. I thought I had my best camp. I thought I put myself in a good position. And so you could tell he was a little bit disheartened. But I think when you just take a step back and take an all-encompassing look at this quarterback battle, because the more that this quarterback battle draws on into the next two games, or I guess into the next game, and we'll get a decision here by week 3, it feels like this thing is setting up for McCarthy to win the job. And here's why I say that. You play Colorado State one week, you play Hawaii the next. No disrespect to either of those programs, but the competition level is going to be a little bit lesser, correct? Correct. Is Cade McNamara going to do anything in either of those games to lose the game for you? I would assume not. Probably the same for McCarthy. The offense, regardless who's playing quarterback in both those games, should light it up. They lit it up against Colorado State. We'll expect them to light it up against Hawaii. The spread is 52, and we like that spread here on the Hard Count. The thing I'm going to say about this is when you call the offense for both of these quarterbacks against this level of competition, you call the offense in a more probably complementary way to McCarthy. That's not to say Cade McNamara won't still go out there and sling it around and play really well when he gets his chance against Hawaii. Both will play well. McCarthy, by nature of how you call the offense for him and what he brings with his legs and the ability to push the ball downfield like he has, he's going to flash against this kind of competition. I mean, it is teed up to call the offense through him, call the offense for him. Cade McNamara, you're still going to win the game. You're still going to put up a lot of points. He's going to turn around off play action, probably do some good things passing the ball, still has the ability to push the ball downfield well. He's still a leader for this team. But in terms of just those wow plays, I think McCarthy is set up for more success against this kind of competition. So if you're basing it off these two games, which it sounds like they are, I can't imagine it's not neck and neck if they're going into week 3 deciding the starter for the third game of the year as opposed to starting in game 1. I think it favors McCarthy. I really do. Now, here's my question to that. How much weight do you put into the experience? Is it really game 1 versus game 2 and it's that close that you're just going to give the better player the start from those two games and that sample size? Or is it, hey, when there's live bullets, if we were to play Alabama tomorrow, we need the more experienced guy out there? How much do you place value on Cade McNamara winning you a Big Ten title, getting to the college football playoff? Is it a what have you done for me lately, or is there some extra credibility he has built up because of that? I think it's a fascinating thing to look at. But if it really is just these 2 games, I have a hard time believing that you're not going to see a J.J. McCarthy performance that gets you really excited. Because the offense looks different with him in the game. It just does. You can call different things for him. With his ability to run the ball, it opens up a lot more in the pass game. It opens up more things in the run game for your running back because that linebacker is worried about J.J. McCarthy pulling it, getting around the edge and going for 60. He might be more hesitant to fill when that running back and that quarterback get in their mesh for the zone read. He might be more hesitant to fill up. You might have an extra half step as that lineman to go and block him. There might be a little bit of an advantage there. That's the way this thing is going to shake out. That's what gets you excited about him. So my thoughts on it, I've said this before, as Jim Harbaugh, I don't envy him because I would imagine your heart has to feel some sort of attachment to the quarterback that in a lot of ways, I don't think it's too far of a stretch to say if it didn't save his job, it gave him a lot more security because the conversation for Michigan going into 2021 was, is Jim Harbaugh the right guy to get him over the hump? The quarterback who did get them over the hump for Jim Harbaugh was Cade McNamara. And turn around and say, hey, thanks so much. We're going with the other guy. I have to imagine that's a difficult situation for Jim Harbaugh to be in. That is a conundrum for him to be in. That is something that would tug on your heartstrings. It's got to be tough to be Jim Harbaugh right now. Again, I do not envy him. But again, if you're basing it off these 2 games, if you're basing it off what you see in these 2 games, what gets you excited, who puts up better stats, who leads more touchdown drives, who does it in a more impressive way, I have a hard time imagining you're not coming away from these 2 game sample sizes as, hey, it's J.J. McCarthy's job. Because of the athleticism, the new element he adds to the offense, and what you might need because of the defense that's a little bit more fresh and a little bit more new / getting acclimated. That might be a reason why you go with J.J. McCarthy because of what he allows you to do in pushing the tempo offensively. So we're going to see what happens. If it really is just these 2 games, I think it's J.J. McCarthy's job. But I do not envy Jim Harbaugh in the slightest. That's it for us here on The Hard Count. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JDPakel. With every single thing we're doing here, we want you along for the ride. Thank you again for over 15,000 subscribers. Let's keep this thing rolling. Let's have a great football season. We appreciate you. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.